A year ago, Angel Reese said she was the reason people watched women's basketball. But fast forward to today, and the spotlight tells a different story. From viral flops to half-empty arenas, while Caitlin Clark is packing stadiums and making history. So, who's really moving the needle? Let's break it all down.
Folks, do you remember this clip? The clip heard around the world. The clip that will be following Angel Reese for the rest of her career. As long as her games don't sell out, as long as her games don't attract a good number of celebrities, as long as her games don't have any type of viewership motion, for lack of better terms.
When a reporter from the Chicago Sky recently brought up Angel Reese's bold comment from last season, "People watch women's basketball because of me too," no one expected the moment to go viral for the reasons it did. Her response? Just 2 words. And instead of proving a point, it sparked a wave of criticism online. It's strange how people can make such big statements with confidence, but when they're asked to explain or back them up, the energy suddenly disappears. It really makes you wonder, are the loudest voices always the most truthful, or just the most unchallenged?
Started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. We watching women's basketball. It's not just because of one person. It's because of me too.
A couple of years ago, right after LSU took down Iowa in a must-watch championship game, Angel Reese wasn't just celebrating a win. She was seizing the moment. She didn't hold back, stepping into the media spotlight and making it clear that she saw herself as more than just a great player. In her eyes, she was a key reason why millions of fans were tuning in. Reese wanted everyone to know that the rise of women's basketball wasn't just about Caitlin Clark. No, she was part of that rise too. She leaned into the rivalry, embraced the attention, and helped push the idea that the sport needed both of them equally. The message she sent? It wasn't just Clark filling arenas and breaking viewership records. Reese believed she was just as essential to the spotlight the game was finally getting.
Sorry, young lady. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody would be watching the WNBA additionally for you. This is all about Caitlin Clark.
Now jump ahead to the present 2025 season, Chicago Sky's press conference. A reporter revisits that confident statement Angel Reese once made. Does she still believe she's the reason fans are tuning in? It was a fair, direct question, but her answer caught everyone off guard. Just 2 words, next question. That was it. No breakdown, no clarification, not even a hint of the pride she once spoke with. The silence that followed said everything. In that moment, she didn't stand behind her original claim, she stepped away from it. The dodge felt loud in its own quiet way, and the whole room picked up on it. What once was a bold declaration now looked like something she wasn't ready to defend.
Last year, you made a powerful statement saying the reason people are watching women's basketball is not just because of one player, but because of you too. A year later, do you feel like you're
Next question.
So Angel Reese was asked about this exact statement, and she decided to duck it.
When confronted with her own words, Reese couldn't defend them with actual evidence. Honestly, why would she try? The numbers tell a completely different story than the one she was selling us last year. This moment wasn't just uncomfortable, it was revealing. Let's look at those numbers. Last year, the Chicago Sky averaged a mere 8,000 fans per home game. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever sold out every game at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, packing over 17,000 fans each outing. Reese talked about sold-out arenas. What arenas are selling out that Caitlin Clark isn't playing in? I need to know. Fast forward to this year. Take Reese's preseason homecoming game at LSU, her college stomping grounds where she won a championship and built her brand. The result? Only 6,000 fans showed up at the Pete Maravich Assembly Center, an arena that holds over 13,000 people. Not even half full for the return of their champion. That's not exactly a ringing endorsement of her star power. It gets worse. The Chicago Sky's home game against the Minnesota Lynx drew just 4,600 attendees. Think about that. Her own WNBA home court couldn't even fill 5,000 seats. Another game against the Lynx, this time in Minnesota, managed only 7,600 fans. And let's be honest, most of those fans came to see the home team. These aren't the numbers of someone driving a basketball revolution. They're the attendance figures of any other WNBA game. The pattern couldn't be clearer. Game after game, the stands tell the story Reese doesn't want to address. Reese's mother tried to do damage control on social media after the LSU game, posting on X, that certain fan base looking in the stands celebrating attendance while others are looking up in the rafters celebrating championship banners. We ain't the same. Different years, same haters. Have a great day. Well, alright, it's a different year, but the same haters. Mama Ree, I think you just called yourself out. The defensive tone speaks volumes. When you can't win with facts, you attack the people pointing them out. That next question moment wasn't just Reese dodging an uncomfortable reporter, it was her avoiding the uncomfortable truth about her actual impact on attendance. She made a claim she can't back up. Now the receipts are coming due. The numbers don't require interpretation or spin, they stand on their own as clear evidence that something doesn't add up. And trust me, these attendance figures are about to look even more embarrassing when we compare them to what's happening with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. The attendance numbers for Reese's games reveal a harsh truth she's not willing to face, talking about being a draw and actually being one or two completely different things. While Reese dodges questions about her impact, Caitlin Clark doesn't need to say a word. The numbers paint such a clear picture, it's almost embarrassing for anyone who tries to compare themselves to her. Clark's homecoming game at Carver Hawkeye Arena sold out all 15,000 seats in just 45 minutes, faster than you can watch a single quarter of basketball. People weren't just buying tickets, they were racing to get them like their lives depended on it. This wasn't just another basketball game, it was a phenomenon. It's Caitlin Clark mania, and here we go again. On Sunday afternoon, 1.3 million people tuned in to see Caitlin Clark return to Iowa as a professional and start raining three-pointers from ridiculous distances. Reese's camp will argue her fan base is limited to Iowa and Indiana. Well, let's look at the receipts. Clark's jersey became the second biggest selling jersey in basketball in 2024, only behind Steph Curry. Reese isn't even in the top 10. Clark is the only WNBA player there. Think about that. Caitlin's moving more merchandise than NBA veterans with multiple championships, including LeBron James. Analysts say she's on track to claim the second spot in all-time WNBA jersey sales during her sophomore season. These aren't just good numbers, they're history-making numbers. What about viewership? Tell me, who's getting consistently over 1 million views on their basketball games besides Caitlin? Exactly. Then Angel Reese goes into, "Oh, I'll be happy to play the villain role. I'll be happy to play the villain, but don't be mean to me." The contrast gets even starker when you look at ticket prices. Preseason games featuring Clark average over $600 per ticket. That's not a typo. Over $600 to watch exhibition basketball. Figures that would make some NBA teams jealous. In fact, that average is the highest ever recorded for a basketball game at any level, including men's and women's college games. Clark didn't just break records, she shattered them. Angel Reese, why are we next? This guy set you up perfectly to answer about you being full of yourself. Oh, I'm so glad you asked that. They're only watching because of me too. They only know that other girl because of me too. They only go to her games instead of my games because of me too. She's the #1 jersey seller in the WNBA? Because of me too. That's why. Time Magazine Sports? Because of me. Everything Caitlin Clark has is because of me. Angel, you could have done that. Clark's impact extends beyond just filling arenas. Teams scheduled to play the Fever are literally moving their home games to larger NBA arenas just to accommodate demand, something that has never happened for Reese or any other player in league history. Then there's the merchandise explosion. The Indiana Fever launched their, campaign centered around Clark, and sales are through the roof across all product categories. They even created a tour-style t-shirt that reads, "Every game is a home game," a nod to how Clark draws crowds wherever she goes. The campaign isn't subtle about what's happening. The Fever are now a must-watch franchise, and everyone knows exactly why. I saw this thread on Twitter and was pleasantly shocked and surprised. Perhaps the most telling evidence of all? The Fever will have 41 out of 44 games nationally televised this season. That's 93% of their schedule. For context, this coverage surpasses even the Los Angeles Lakers, who had 39 nationally televised games. When a WNBA team gets more national TV exposure than one of the NBA's flagship franchises, you know something extraordinary is happening. Something huge is happening in women's basketball. It's not just TV execs loving Caitlin Clark, it's viewers who can't get enough of her. Money follows eyeballs, and the WNBA gets it. That's why Clark is front and center in every commercial. The Indiana Fever are crushing it. Their fans turn every away game into a home crowd. Attendance, merch sales, TV ratings all shout one thing loud and clear. Caitlin Clark is the WNBA's biggest star, and she's changing the game. Look, one player talks a lot but can't back it up. Clark? She lets the numbers do the talking. Sold-out arenas, record-breaking jersey sales, and TV ratings that blow others out of the water. While one dodges questions, Clark answers with results. The Fever didn't just get lucky. They built a team around Clark, adding vets like Sophie Cunningham and Natasha Howard to support her from day one. That's smart. Meanwhile, Chicago's still figuring out what to do with Angel Reese. Clark's impact is real, on and off the court. The Fever upgraded everything: facilities, marketing, the whole 9 yards. In just a year, they went from underdogs to the WNBA's must-watch squad. That's a plan, not luck. On May 17th, when Clark's Fever face Reese's Sky, we'll see the difference. Clark's rewriting women's basketball with sold-out crowds and record TV coverage. Reese has some big claims to prove. This was all for today. Thanks for watching.